So when we're talking about relationships, we're not just talking about one type of relationship, we're talking about all of these relationships, okay? Now the next part that I want you guys to think about are unhealthy behaviors and healthy behaviors that we have with all those different types of relationships.
Respect, dependable,
responsible.
If we're looking at all the research and the data, we have seen relationship violence skyrocket in the last decade. And what we're finding out is that we have to put programs in place early on to teach students about healthy relationships, about what a good relationship looks like.
Youth Empowerment Solutions came about as a result of a longitudinal study where we looked at middle school and high school kids over time and just looked at what behaviors they endorsed, whether they were risky or protective. And once we teased those out, we built a curriculum to empower youth to make good choices in middle school and high school. We were funded by the CDC, and we were lucky enough to get school districts to partner with us so that we could embed our curriculum in their social studies classes.
When you've worked hard on something and you feel that sense of accomplishment, it makes you feel good. You treat it better. When you guys are treating it better, you also expect others to treat it better. So it's not just the adults in the room or in the school, it's you guys as well, because you're an example.
We found through our research that peer relationships and a sense of belonging and connectedness trumps even parental input, particularly with 6th grade and 7th grade kids. So we knew this is where we need to enter if we were going to make a significant change, or we wanted to affect climate and culture in a school environment.
My name is Tara Warga, and I'm a teacher here at Hoover Middle School, and I teach the SHR program, the Youth Empowerment Solutions for Healthy Relationships. The SHR first starts with kind of evaluating students' personal values. They learn how to communicate with one another in sort of an assertive way, and they're able to establish boundaries with each other. And then they kind of look at their school community and they figure out ways to improve that. They look at their weaknesses in school.
It really brushes up on stuff that you need to learn, because a lot of the times when you learn things like how to communicate with people, you learn it like in preschool and kindergarten and things like that, but then they don't really touch up on that subject. And now is the time where it's most important, honestly, and this really touches up on that and just makes communication so much better.
It kind of prepped me for what to expect and what's not okay and what is okay with relationships. And I think that's important when making the transition from middle school to high school. So I think it helped a lot.
A lot of things that we learned about in the SHI program really affected me and changed me as a person, because it was about character development and how to improve yourself and the people around you.
Like I said, you can't go wrong when you do right.
That's good, Nick.
Those healthy relationships tied together with those community projects brought the kids out, and they were empowered to make change within our building.
We started with a bench outside that they worked on and put together, budgeted their money, which improves that school, makes it look nicer.
We had a big problem with our garden and our things out front, and students one year, it was, Mr. Hall, we want to renovate the front of the building, and they planted flowers and put new mulch down, and that was important to them.
One of my favorite activities was when we painted the ceiling tiles and left our mark for the future kids.
Well, we did ceiling tiles, and it's really a great way for us to get our artistic expression and just, you know, it's a bit different than what normal class would offer, and it really helps students a lot. And I'm not really an arts person, but it really helped me express more of my creative side, honestly.
We came into schools where behaviors were escalating. It was difficult for students to get along, but when you give them a project to work toward common good, they come together in ways that surprised everyone.
I have noticed a behavior change. At the beginning, of course, you know, it's who am I going to sit by, who's going to be in my group, and towards the end, because they're working on something together, I notice that their confidence is so high that they're in charge of their own projects that they start to treat each other nicely almost naturally.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Walking back through the school, like, it just feels like more uplifting, and like it feels like a better community to be in. Like, Hoover was a great community at first, but like being able to like look back and like see all the uplifting and powerful stuff that we put in is really like cool to see like students actually enjoy to be there.
The students, when they leave the SHR program, have added so much to the culture of our building and learned so much about each other, about setting those healthy boundaries, about communicating with each other, about making community change projects within our building that are important to them.
We learn about being an upstander and not being a bystander. And I think that that's probably the biggest thing that they face, is how not to be a passive witness to negative behavior. A lot of the students come up to me and say, some of the things that I used to do, I stopped and I thought about it because I thought about the impact.
Often when schools receive research dollars, the programs go away when it's over. This school in particular has taken forward what we started back in 2016, and it's alive and well today, and it continues to thrive.
I think my favorite part about being a Hoover Hawk is just being involved, and the people here are good, teachers are nice, it's a very welcoming place. It's very nice to be here.
My hope for the students who leave this class is that they're able to see we all kind of want the same things. And the best way to do that is working together in a healthy way, respecting each other, not just because we're asking them to, but because they know that when they respected each other, they had a better outcome.